amazing advisor, speaking to my soul's provider. Forever you're my one desire. When the night's closing in, you remind me. When I'm lost in the maze, need a word for these days. I just call, I just raise every question that I've been saving. And the answer comes on time, peace that settles in my mind. Wisdom on a holy line, got my faith awakened. Chanting the amazing advisor, leading every step I take higher. When I'm weak, you light my fire. I'm chanting the amazing advisor, speaking to my soul's provider. Forever you're my one desire. When the night's closing in, you remind me. When I'm lost in the maze, need a word for these days. I just call, I just raise every question that I've been saving. And the answer comes on time, peace that settles in my mind. Wisdom on a holy line, got my faith awakened. Chanting the amazing advisor, leading every step I take higher. When I'm weak, you light my fire. I'm chanting the amazing advisor, speaking to my soul's provider. Forever you're my one desire. When the night's closing in, you remind me. When I'm lost in the maze, need a word for these days. amazing advisor. Speaking to my soul's provider. Forever you're my one desire. When the night's closing in, you remind me. When I'm lost in the maze, need a word for these days. I just call, I just raise every question that I've been saving. And the answer comes on time. Peace that settles in my mind. Wisdom on a holy line. Got my faith awakened. Chanting the amazing.
Boom! Boom, boom, boom. And we are back. Let me see if I can have it like that. Not a big fan of this layout. Can't do it like that. Nah, it's not really cool. Okay. Bada boom. We are back in the business. It's been a week. It's been a week, but I'm back. We're back. Thank you everyone for joining this live session. I'm Riley, the amazing advisor, and today we're gonna have a look at a couple of cool things. Live. We're gonna review some landing pages. We're gonna answer some questions, and I'm gonna do my classic drawing, answering your questions. Today I've picked a very interesting question that I want to develop, and so we'll have a look at that. In the meantime, if you just joined, say hello, let me know that you are here, so that I see that you guys are watching. And if you have any questions or comments, drop this in the chat. If you are super comfortable and you want to sit next to me and talk about your business, what you're building, or you just want to have me live consulting you on stage, let me know. I'll share you the link to the stage so you can sit next to me and we can have this conversation. That being said, let's give it a rollout. So I want to officially say hey to the guys who are watching the stream. Okay, interestingly, it's mostly on X for now. So folks, if you are watching from YouTube, let me know. It's always appreciated. And today we're gonna have a look at a couple of things, starting with a landing page. So let me switch this like that. Let me just close this like that. Let me open this, and let me open one of the landing pages that I was asked to have a look at. It's called Aurora, and we're gonna have a look at this little baby. But before that, I want to let you know that if you want your product or landing page or startup to be roasted, this is for educational purposes, reach out to me. You have access to my X, to my YouTube, or to my Reddit account. So send me a DM or just tag me in any post and I'll have a look at that. That being said, let me just notify the person who sent me this that they're about to be roasted, so that they can watch the video later on. Let me find this. No, not this one. I definitely need a better system to catch up with people's landing pages. Skill Whisper, not this one. Not this one. Man, I just don't know. Okay, let me just do the roast and we'll have a look at that. Boom. Let me know if you guys hear me well, if the sound is good, so we can get started. Boom. I'm doing great. Nano, thanks for reaching out. I love your AI avatar. Sorry, your profile. Is it? I don't. It looks like Jujutsu Kaisen, but I'm not sure. Just like, let me know. My manga game is a bit roasted, even though I have these ones here. But yeah. If you have any questions, let me know. Someone is telling me how and where to submit. So if you're watching from YouTube, drop it in the comments, drop it in the chat. And when you drop the link, also tell me in 2 or 3 sentences what is it that you do and who are you doing this for, and we'll prioritize the folks who are watching this live, right? So in the meantime, I'm gonna start with this little baby. We're gonna start roasting this little baby. Oh yes, JJK. I knew it. I was good, man. I just watched the first season. Didn't got into the second season. Like, they did this weird stuff when they went to the past, and I felt like it was like going outside of the story. But I have to get back to that. But before I get back to that, I want to finish Sakamoto Days. Then I'll get back to it. Mangas, animes, which is great. Anyways, let's pause the anime conversation and talk about startups. So let's have a look at this one. Let me switch to this view so you guys can see it a little bit better. And let's have a look at that. So the product is called Aurora, and the landing page. So the first thing I have a look at is this sentence: AI changed your field, adapt, stay ahead. Mm, it's not super clear. Let me see. Like, there's a lot of space, but I'm not sure if it's because. Okay, let me do it like that. Yeah, so I'm 100%. I think there's a lot of space. You could probably use this space a little bit more to get your information shared. AI change your field, adapt, stay ahead. So problem with the sort of the main headline is that I don't know who you're talking to. AI change your field. I know you're gonna say, yeah, it's impacting everyone, blah blah blah. The reality is, if I'm a designer or if I'm a developer, it yes, it changed my field, but in different ways. And if you're being too generic, you're losing people's attention. So try to clarify a little bit who's the avatar here. Adapt, stay ahead. Yeah, does okay. I mean, it's a nice like Apple-esque marketing punchline, but it doesn't tell me why I should give you a little bit of attention and eventually use your product. So I get it. You want to be smart, but you're not being smart if you have zero paying customers. So clarify this, make it simple. This is what we get. This is what you'll get out of using our stuff. So here, Aurora reads the live market and tell you exactly what to focus on. See, this is much clearer, but it's so small that number one, I can't just even read it. Let me just switch to my sniper glasses. Yeah, I barely can read that. So yeah, not good. Not good at all. Make it bigger. This is a bit more explicit than the two big sentences that you have at the top, and you'd rather just focus on that. Um, Boom, boom, boom. Let me check. All right. Then what we have: Aurora online ready for you. What are you currently studying or doing professionally? So now I don't get it. You're talking about live market, and now here you're talking about studies and doing professionally. So when I read live market, I was thinking stock exchange, but now it's about studying and professional stuff. So not clear at all. Not clear at all for me. Very strange. Hello, welcome to the session. Hey, Alexei. Alexei has a cool. I'll talk about Alexei in a minute. Let me finish the roast. Um, AI change your field. Okay, so we don't understand this. This is smart marketing, but it's not clear. This is a beginning of a value proposition, but too small, not visible enough, and this could need a little bit of development. The second thing is this entire block here is confusing. It's contradicting a little bit the message that we have on top, and I don't really know what to do with that. Can I just type it in there, or is it gonna ask me to sign in? No. Okay. Okay. That's actually good. That's actually good. Wait, something is strange here. What happened? So, whoa. Let me try to zoom it out. No. Okay, something is very wrong with the layout. I wasn't expecting the layout to be effed up like that. What are you currently studying or doing professionally? So these are two very different questions. So these are two very different avatars. Uh, I'm studying marketing. Let's just give it like that. Now, what's the thing on the left side? Okay, something's happening on the left side. It's a bit hard to read. The contrast is very, very poor. Like, it's dark text on dark background. Like right now I'm zooming into it, but it's not great. And clearly the UI is messed up. Um, I don't know what's happening here. Mapping skills and adjacent roles. Okay, now I'm getting a little bit what's happening here. But where should I focus? Okay, let's have a look at that. Marketing is consolidating faster on data, AI tool and performance and fluency. Let me map the adjacent roles and skills in this space. Okay. So there's another problem. The vocabulary that you're using is way too advanced. You haven't assessed my age. Maybe I'm like 19, or maybe I'm older or younger, but your AI is not definitely adapting to its audience, and there are a lot of very complicated words. Consolidating adjacent roles, I'm not sure like everyone would understand what this sentence is about, and it's already like adding some friction into the process. Do you have a goal in mind already, or a challenge you want to tackle? Boom boom. It's interesting. I'm not gonna lie. It's driving a little bit of curiosity because there's something that is being built on the side as I'm interacting with the LLM, which I think is cool. I'm just not sure what's happening. So we can dive and play a little bit on this. Someone says, looks like a chat GPT wrapper. I wouldn't be surprised. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of this is often wrappers and not foundationally built LLMs. But there's fundamentally there's nothing wrong with building a GPT wrapper, except that they can just they can just slash everything from you and build it themselves. But fundamentally, there's nothing wrong. You are fixing a gap between what ChatGPT provides and what people want. So that's a nice way to start. Mm. And also, this layer of visibility is interesting. So what do we have here? Digital content, digital marketing manager, growth marketer, and then there are a bunch of skills. Marketing student. Okay, I'm just not sure where this is taking me. Blah 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 blah. The level of awareness. The level of awareness. Let's see if we add one or two more questions. Say more. I'm not sure about how the spelling. Eugene Schwartz. Levels of awareness. Let's see what is going. What that thing is gonna say. Got it. You're thinking about consumer psychology and messaging strategy. Do you have a goal in mind already, or would you like to keep sharing? I want to understand more about that. I want to understand more about this and how to apply it to my marketing content. Marketing content. There we go. Let's see what we have here. So your goal is building real applied fluency and awareness based messaging. Like, man, this sentence is so complicated. Real applied fluency and awareness based messaging. Too complicated. Would you like to work a set of goals together or have no work a set of goals? Work a set of goals. Boom. In your dream world, blah blah blah. So what do we have here? The AI is absolutely hallucinating, creating the graph and map it knows. Yeah, that could be the case. That could be the case. In your dream world, where would your career and life be in a few years? How is that relevant to what I was just telling you? Just see. Let's challenge this a little bit. Fair enough. What feels most alive in your current marketing studies right now, and what feels missing? I don't know, man. I'm being very rude and just sort of roasting it with stuff. But what would you change? What would you convince about it? Yeah, I think I can just circle forever in those questions. I'm just curious, how is this supposed to work? This could have benefited from a simple video walkthrough so we could understand what is the end process. Can I just go back to skill mapper AI? Okay, so I got confused because here it says Aurora, but here it's skill mapper AI. Um, your market map personalized for you. I really don't understand market map. For me, it's like stock exchange, and it's absolutely not that. Um, real results from real people. Uh, the contrast is terrible. It's really hard to have a look at that. Let me pause for a second. And actually, now that I know who sent me this, I want to make sure they have a look at the video. So let me give me a quick second. Boom. Where's my live video? Yeah, my live is here. Oh, let me share that to the person who sent me this. Uh, skill mapper AI. Yeah, that's the thing. There we go. Okay, so the video has been sent. Let's get back to the thing. So let me have a look at the rest of the stuff, and then I'll address the questions and the comments, and then we'll talk a little bit about Alexi. Real results from real people. So what I don't like about this is you say real people, but economic student from LSE Data Science Institute. So LSE, I think, is London School of Economics. Uh, economic student, like could be anyone. I think the proof is a bit weak. Plus, you have like those M dashes, which really seems like your content is actually AI generated. If you really want to pull out real results from real people, just give me testimonial videos. That's 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 the king of testimonials. Your coach, your goal every day. This again, a lot of smart marketing punchlines, but it's not clear what it does. I would definitely fix that. Your field is changing fast. Start here. Yeah. So clarify who exactly you're helping and how you're helping them, and eventually like drop a little like 3 minute video so we can understand how this works and what people can actually get from this. And something's wrong with your UI here. Like, okay, now it's working. I, I don't know what happened before, but now it's working. Okay, cool, 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 cool. That being said, you got roasted. You got roasted. So, let's get back to what we have here. Let's have a look at a couple of questions that we have here. Um, we got a pitch in the comments, absolutely. So I'm gonna address yours in a minute. Real quick, I want to say hello to Alexi. If you guys don't know Alexi, he has a YouTube channel reviewing landing page and startup pitches. Alexi, confirm me if I'm wrong. Really cool stuff, really cool initiative. Give it a little look and see if you guys like it. But check his content on his YouTube channel. I think he's also on X, if I remember well. So yeah, check him out. Boom, boom, boom. This is a roadmap maker on the market analyzer. Yeah, which is very complex word for me to understand. Like, what problem are you solving for people? Um, Super curious. Nano chat. How did you find my YouTube live? I'm super curious. And if you have any like startups or product that you're building and you want some feedback, let me know because I remember seeing you a couple of times on my live sessions. The next thing we're gonna have a look at next is Pixel Picked. And I'm also curious, Pixel Picked, how did you find my YouTube channel? And let's have a look at that. If you can give me the URL of your landing page or product or whatever that I can check so I can have a look at that. I'll have a look at this in a minute or two. In the meantime, Reddit comments. Okay, Reddit comment. Was it a post that I made? Oh yeah. Are you the guy I just commented? And let me check. Uh, Man, you guys are super reactive. If it's what I'm thinking. Um, Let me check. Is it the build in public um post that was made like 20 minutes ago? Super curious to know. Super curious to know. Let's have a look at that. Oh wow. Okay. Man, you're super reactive. I love it. So I'm gonna do this more. I'm gonna comment more on Reddit when I'm going live so people can tune in. So I'm also gonna have a look at that. So if you're comfortable, let me know if you're the author. Let me know if you're the author of the post, and if you're comfortable with me sharing the post, so I can actually answer your question and walk you through the entire stuff. If you're not the author of the post, let me know. Let me know what you want me to do, but I'll have a look at your pixel picked. Okay, so you're not the author of the post. Okay, got it. That's really interesting. Okay, so now I know how it works. So I'm gonna have a look at that. Can you just give me the full URL of the of your pixel picked so I don't waste time browsing for it? Or you can even send me a DM on Reddit. That's fine. If it's easier for you. And nano chat. Cool. From YouTube recommendation. I love this. Thank you. That's super, super interesting information to me. Let's have a look at that. Boom. Let me check. Let me check if we have a couple of answers and stuff in here. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Let's have a look at that. All right. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. So what you can do, just drop me the URL of your landing page in a reply of my previous post. So in the reply in my previous comment. So let me just walk you through the stuff here. So boom, that's the post. So here I commented. I guess this is how you found my stuff. Just give me a reply and give me the link of your startup, of your landing page, so that I can just double check that and have a look at that. In the meantime, let's have a look at what you said here. Let me check. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. Excellent. We have it. Excellent. Excellent. I have it here. Excellent. Cool. Let's roast this. So you said Pixel Picked is a curated. Wait, why is the chat a bit fucked up like that? You know? Very strange. If I do it this way, yeah, perfect. Pixel Picked is a curated discovery and launch platform for indie mobile games. Developers build audience before launch and launch campaigns. Players discover original games, novel curated games. Okay. Okay, so it's for in indie mobile game developers. You get a point. The avatar is very clear. I love it. It's to help them build an audience before launching their game or launching a campaign. Another point. I love it. That's clear. And players can get to discover original games and novel curated games. I don't know what novel curated games means, but I get the big picture. I get the big picture. Okay, so that's good. I'll honestly give you a couple of brownie croissant points here because that was a good clear explanation in 2-3 lines. Now let's have a look at the landing page. All right, so let me collapse this. There you go. Let me switch to this and let's have a look at this baby. So mobile gaming was built by indie devs. No, no, no. Like you being smart here. You're being smart. The way you explained it in your message before was better. Uh, this is the biggest billboard you have on your website, and this is what everyone is going to see. And the thing is, people probably have like 3 to 8 seconds of attention span. And so in 3 to 8 seconds, you have to explain them why they should give you more attention. And to get them to give you more attention, you need to hint, you need to tease how you can help them get more money by getting more customers, lose less customers, or improve the efficiency of the business overall. And here, with your biggest billboard, your biggest advertisement board, you say nothing. It's like I land on this. I read mobile gaming was built by indie devs. I'm like, yeah, heck yeah, I'm an indie dev. I agree with this message. That's it, and I move on. Right. So change this text with something that is much, much, much more explicit. Let me just do my little classic hacky shit. Boom, boom, boom. So if we go here, um, okay. So what I would do is, indie devs, um, um, what could be the outcome? I'm thinking a bit out loud, but something like the value proposition, the promise that you make to indie developers. Uh, Indie developers get paid users before you launch. Shabam! Boom! Indie devs get paid users before you launch. You see, like if I have 3 to 8 seconds and I read this, I'm like, indie devs, that's me. Get paid users before you launch. That's what I need. Okay, what is this all about? Now I want to know more. Okay, so screenshot that shit and update it. Um, Now let me have a look at the subtitle. So the launch platform for indie mobile games. The launch platform. Yeah, launch for me is not explicit because it can mean a lot of stuff and I'm not sure. So you definitely want to clarify this. But It's not completely bad. Great indie games deserve better launches. See, like this is a much clearer value proposition than the previous one. Um, Pixel Pact help developers reach real players, build momentum early, and launch beyond the limits of the App Store discovery. This is way much better than the big stuff that you had before. So this could be an alternative to your first thing. I would probably clarify momentum because it can mean a lot of stuff. And launch as well is not necessarily super clear. What is a launch? Like, I would clarify that. But that's not bad. That's not bad. 100 plus developers already whitelisted. I'm not waitlisted. I'm not sure what it means. So okay, so join the waiting list. So that means your stuff is not running yet. Okay, get it. Get it. How it works. Okay, I like this. Pre-launch, launch week, post-launch. Okay, I love the step, sort of the wizard, the process. Upload game details, blah blah blah. How do you move from I see there's like a slider, but how do you slide? It's not clear. Yeah, something wrong here. Your slider is not sliding automatically, and I can't like use arrows or clicking to just move to the next phases. And there are a lot of stuff here. It's okay. So you're telling me it's automatic, but it's not working? Or maybe I just have to switch to this. No, this is like big steps, but nothing's happening. So something is off here. Something is off here. You probably wanted to fix that. Okay, but I like the jump. I like the jump. Okay, yeah, I would probably fix it. It's like should move to the next steps, or maybe once you move to the next one, it just goes. Yeah, strange. Yeah, I'm wasting my time, so I would I'm not gonna like it. I would make the slider. I would make this. Yeah, nah, it's just quick stuff. Nah, just fix the slider so people can move manually, just in case, because yeah, a lot of people are wasting time. Oh, interesting artistic direction. I like the use of colors. And the contrast is really good. From first commit to launch today and beyond. Boom, boom, boom. What is that? Set up your games. Every stage. 100 plus. Yeah, this is doing you a disservice. Like just having colors and letters for names of people doesn't make it real. So I wouldn't go with this. Find us on YouTube. Let's click. Eh, eh. Yeah, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. I'm not gonna try the other ones, but don't push for these kind of things if there's nothing in there. But not bad. Not bad, not bad, not bad. One thing that you want to change as soon as you can, because obviously it's still in progress, but as soon as you're getting traction, as soon as indie devs getting traction with their launch, you want to capture those numbers and display it big in your jumbo at the beginning, so that so that people actually see how much money or players the platform is bringing to everyone. Mm. Quickly, out of curiosity, I just want to click on players. Okay, cool. What you want to do, you probably want to change the artistic direction for players, like have a different color when you scroll, because people won't tell the difference between the developer side and the player side. So give it another color to the players, or maybe make developer yellow, and so it's only yellow and black, and make the player like a different color, like white. So white on black, but no yellow, so you can really identify the switch. It's a minor cosmetic thing, but it helps a little bit. Um, Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. So probably a bug, and you said also from a different spec player dev. Okay, so this is checked. Cool, cool, cool. But honestly, not a bad landing page. Not a bad landing page. I'm curious if you want to share with us some of your metrics. When you say 108 developers already waitlisted and stuff like that, how long have you guys? When did you guys started? Uh, and what's the state of the art? I'm curious to know. Genuinely curious to know. All right, 2 weeks ago. You started 2 weeks ago. That's really cool. And in within 2 weeks, you were able to get 100 people in your waiting list. What is the ratio between developers? No, sorry. Do you have, because it's a bit of a hard situation. It's like a chicken and egg situation. You need developers, but you also need players. Can you share with us a little bit? Like, clearly you have 100 plus developers. How many players were you able to get and prepare on the platform? Boom. 70 players, 30 developers. Okay, so when you say 100 plus, it's a mix of players and developer and gamers. Oh yeah, I'm dumb. Sorry. It was gamers. I read games. I'm dyslexic. My bad. So you should change that. You should change gamers and you should put players because this is the wording that you use here. So make sure you stay consistent. Um, because yeah, I read games. But that's my dyslexia. But put players instead of gamers. So that you have a domain language that is consistent. Cool, I like it, man. 2 weeks, you guys have 70 players, 30 developers. That's not a bad ratio. I have to say, that's not a bad ratio. I like it. I'm curious to know what was your strategy to get these folks, but I don't want to have this conversation now. But if you're interested, I'd love to have, if you're comfortable, um, jumping up on stage. If you ever want to sit next to me and you don't even have to turn on your camera, but I'm curious to see, to ask you a couple of questions and get to know this a little bit more, and we could sort of share a little bit the story behind what you built. This could definitely be a conversation for the Saturday sessions. The Saturday sessions are a bit longer, and we really dive a bit deeper into these things. But love it. Love it. Let me know if it was useful to you. And guys, check it out. It's called Pixel Picked. Um, and let me know. Sure, you'd love that. Yeah, send me a DM on Reddit so we can see how we can set this up and have you live on the weekends. So this will give you more visibility. But thanks for playing the game of getting your landing page roasted. I hope this was useful to you. Let me know in the comments. And then we'll move to the next thing. Um, Boom. So that was the best stuff. Let me fix this. Let me move it here. There you go. Let me have a look at the next stuff. Pew. All right. Do we have any other submissions? Submissions. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. All right. Okay, so that's an interesting question. So we can actually answer this live. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna answer. We have a couple of minutes left. We are going to answer this particular question. Um, Here, what marketing is actually working for you on a tiny budget right now? We're gonna have a look at this, and I'm gonna clip it to make it a full video so people can rewatch this. So I don't know if I don't know if the guy who answered this is live, is watching this. Let me know in the comments if you're here. Otherwise, I have another really cool question, which is quite similar to this one. How do you know when you have no foundations to start coding? So, hmm, yeah, let me answer this one. Let me answer this one. Let's go live and direct with this one. How much time we have left? Boom, boom, boom. To the top of the hour. Oh yeah, we good. We good to go. So let's end. Wait, where's my studio? My studio is here. Okay. Sorry guys, I haven't done lives in about for a week. I feel like I'm rusty. Mm, cool. So let's address this question. If you are the author of the post, let me know. Let me know in the comments that you're here so I can interact with you. And guys, if you're enjoying this session, I have a school community called the SaaS and Startup Kitchen. Last year, I had 7 members generating $1.3 million of revenue. That's what they made. And I'm opening a plan with a very big discount, $10 a month. And so if you join the community, you can ask me all your questions every day, and the goal is to get you your paid customers. So have a look at that. If you think this could be useful to you, let me know. If you have any questions, also let me know. But now you know it exists. It's called the SaaS and Startup Kitchen, and it's hosted by me. There we go. Let's have a look at this. So let me grab my tablet. There we go. Let me grab my remarkable tablet. So I'm gonna save this question for next time, and I'm gonna write this new question. So what marketing is actually working for you on a tiny budget right now? Let's have a look at what he said. 7 months in. Okay, that's a red flag. Boom, classic. Spent like $40 on marketing, which is good. A domain and more, and one more Reddit ad. Yeah, Reddit ads are super expensive, so you really need to nail it the first time. Okay, so that's not a lot of money spent on marketing, but domain name, nobody gives a shit. I keep reading no budget marketing threads, and most of it feels like survivorship bias to me. Someone hits blah blah blah, writes a playbook, one TikTok goes viral, and now short form is the answer. The failure, I don't write the stuff. Here's what I've actually tried: Twitter build in public. So this is useless. Let's just be clear. Twitter build in public, it's just useless. And the reason why Twitter build in public is useless is because when you do building in public, the traction and attention that you're getting is from other builders. And it's basically builders giving hugs to other builders. And the reality is these guys are not your customers. So yeah, they will say, hey, good job, congrats, I love that you're doing that, keep pushing, keep coding, blah blah blah. They will not pay for your service unless you're building a product for all the builders. Building in public is not a great thing. It's nice as a journal so that when you've succeeded, you can sort of unpack the entire story and you can tell people, hey, you want to know how I was able to get to this success point? Yeah, check out, backtrack my build in public. It works for that. But if you're hoping that building in public will get your customers, especially if you're going to those building public communities, you're just wasting your time. Unless you have something that is highly visual and you can show the evolution of the stuff and then sort of build viral content, building in public rarely gets you paid customers. So yeah, 4 months, 200 followers, 2 signups. Hey, the numbers are clear. So 6 hours a week. 6 hours a week. That's the classic thing with using social media. You don't calculate the time cost. We talk a lot about cost of acquisition, the CAC, but we forget the time we spent in. So 6 hours a week, which is not bad to be honest, but that's still an investment. Reddit comments, weirdly the best so far, 11 signups in 6 weeks, but the moment you stop being genuine about blah blah blah. Okay, cold DMs to people who literally just complain about the problem. I get a 7 rolled back. Okay. Scale past maybe 30 a week. Okay. SEO, 12 visits last week. Yeah, I'm not an SEO guy, especially if you don't know who you're talking to. I think the honest version is that nothing is actually free. That is absolutely true. Every channel costs hours, and the cheapest one is just which deliver, blah blah. So genuinely curious, what's working for you in the last 30 days, not 2023, not I posted on PH once, not months. Okay, so here, let me just write it down. Let me share my tablet. Let's go so we can have a look at this. Uh, 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 share, share screen, connected. Yeah. All right. There we go. So let me make this super big so y'all can see it. There we go. So this should be much better for everyone to view. I'm gonna switch the view. Don't worry about that. Let me just quickly grab the title of this. So marketing that works on a budget. On a budget. Cool. So what I typically do here is, I'm just gonna collapse this. Let me switch to a better view so guys can see. Okay. So marketing that works on a budget. Here's what I do with my clients, and here's what I did with my own businesses. Um, mind you, I helped 7 founders generate $1.3 million of revenue last year. One of my startup has hit the $1.5 million revenue in January this year. And so how did we pull this out? So the number one thing is, let's just be honest. The number one thing is, in order to make good marketing, you need to know your customer. So know your customer, right? That's the baseline. Anything under that is just useless. Now that you know your customer, and what I mean by know your customer is where they are and what do they respond to? Do they respond to what? And so the analogy to this is, I call this selfish in a fish market. Boom. Um, let me just quickly send a message to the guy just to let him know that I'm answering his question live. Um, boom. All right. Back to the video. And there we go. So sell fish in a fish market. Why do I say that? It's because if you are on TikTok but your customers are on Facebook, you're going to have an extremely low return on effort, right? So you want to know where is that place that has the highest density of your customer per square miles, as opposed to going to a place that has like 3 folks um, that could be your potential customers. And so what you want to do is have 15 conversations, 15 conversations with your avatar. And what I mean by 15 conversations, I don't mean sending out emails. I don't mean like exchanging DMs. I don't mean reading content from them. I mean live calls. If not, um, like grab a coffee with them, right? And the reason why you want this is because if you're doing DMs, emails, or stuff like that, it's a lot of asynchronous conversation, and you don't have their full attention, right? And the problem with this is if you drop a question and then there's like a couple of minutes, if not hours, if not days before you get the response, number one, you're losing the context and you cannot dive deeper in their answers. And everything happens in the diving in the answers. Look at it as nested boxes. The person, so you ask a question, the person replies, and they pretty much like they give you like a window of answers. But that window of answers is a bit vague. And so what you want to do is you want to take this window and you want to break down into a portion of it. And the reason why you want to break down into a portion of it is because you want to clarify stuff. So let's say you have a user and you have a potential customer and you say, um, do you do you watch animes? Do you watch animes? Right? They're probably going to say, so this is your window of understanding. They're probably going to say yes. If you stop here, you know nothing, right? And so if you're having a live conversation, you can instantly rebound and say, okay, uh, how long have you been watching animes? How long? Boom. What kind? Boom. Where is your, what is your favorite platform? What's your favorite platform? Boom. Now I know where they hang out. How often? Boom. So now you know if that person is like a high level consumer or a low level consumer. Um, how do you decide on your ideal avatar? That is a great question. And unfortunately, I won't have time to answer it today. But here's what I can do, I can mark it for my next session. So let me just write it down. How do you decide on your ideal avatar? That's a fantastic question. Let me just get back to here. Um, so let me finish this explanation and live calls. Blah. Okay, all right. So now you can dive into his first answer and you can narrow down the box even more, so that you know where they are, what do they like, and get very precise on what they say and what they desire. But also you have their hopes and fears. Hopes and fears. Sorry for the typo. And you also know what are their pain points. And you also know how they talk. How they talk. And this is the most essential part of the conversation, understanding how they talk. Because what you want to do is act like a parrot, act like a parrot. What I mean by that is we, myself included, are software engineers. So we have the engineer's vocabulary, right? But the problem is like if our avatar is a plumber, small business, he has the vocabulary of the small business guys or the plumbers guys. And so the word we talk, the word we use every day are different from the word he understands for his business. Last time I had a customer doing cold calls and he said to a potential client, he said, "Hey, we have a lot of APIs that you can connect your business with." And the guy said, "What is APIs?" Classic mistake. You lose people right away. And so you want to listen to how they talk and then start acting like a parrot. And what I mean by a parrot is like, imagine all these, look at all these comedians who do impersonations, like Jim Carrey impersonating someone. They copy the words and they also copy the way they say those words. And now, if you do this, the assumption is if I if I mimic this guy that I just heard, and maybe this guy talks like most of these guys in this industry, then by mimicking how this guy talks, I'll be able to attract all these guys, right? And so what you want to do is collect what we call verbatims. Verbatims. So these are exact words or expressions that these people use to communicate, and you want to transform those exact words and expressions into your content, right? And by doing this, you'll maximize your chances of getting people's attention. And so, to get back to the original question, how do you do marketing on a budget? The step number one is you do 15 conversations with your ideal client. Number two and three, you learn how they talk. And number three, you learn where they hang out. And number four, you go there and put your content and put your content out there. I would say under this, the fastest way to make it work is your network, right? So you want to reach out to everyone you know and you want to say, "Hey, I'm helping Avatar with this problem. If you know any, connect me." So that's the first step. The second set, if you want to act on a budget, is because you know your avatar, you want to go to events. You want to go to events. Ideally, I would say real life. So you can check things like Luma or Meetup, and you can just type the name of the function of your avatar and see if if there are any events local that you can go to. And a ticket is probably between, I would say, $15 to $150. um I mean, you can find stuff at $250, but in the range of 15 to $150 you can find decent events. And that means 15 to 100 people that are your ideal avatar, and you'll have quality time with these folks. And so if you have to do marketing on a budget, I would do this. It's always the same rule, but it applies for everything. Do things that don't scale. That's the number one. This is how you're going to get your first customers. Start with your network. Ask everyone you know if they know your ideal customer and if they can introduce you. And then the second thing, slightly leverage, is going to the events. Going to events, so because there's a high concentration of people that you're looking for in a small amount of space. And so invest your money in there, go there, shake a couple of hands, get to know the people, get to know their struggle, and because you had those conversations before, you will be able to recognize them when you talk with them right away. If you haven't had these conversations before going to the events, then leverage those events to be your 15 conversations. That's how I would go marketing on a budget to get my first customers, and that's what I did with my businesses and with my clients. So we were able to get to that $1.3 million of revenue. Let me just pull it out here. Boom. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. If you want more customized help, consider joining the SaaS and Startup Kitchen. There is this $10 a month crazy discount. I'm not gonna keep it for long, so you can get into the kitchen. That's the smallest plan. And if you have questions like this and you're not sure how to get answers, I run these sessions nearly every day of the week. It's every day except Wednesdays. It starts at 11:30 a.m. EST. And make sure you watch the other content on my YouTube channel. Follow me on my social media. You know the stuff. And see you on the next one. I'm Riley, and this was the Daily Startup Show. See you on the next one. Let me just do it here. See you on the next one. Boom.
Amazing.